This road links the south of Afghanistan with western Afghanistan and the city of Herat. This region is usually calm, but there have been sporadic clashes recently. The anti-Taliban coalition offensive in the south of the country has led some of the insurgents to withdraw further north.
The checkpoint is to prevent the insurgents from getting into Herat, to stop them from getting explosives in, material for suicide attacks. Security has been improved a lot with these control points.
A suicide attack a few weeks ago against a NATO base triggered fighting between Afghan government forces and Taliban forces. This province on the border with Iran is one of the most stable in Afghanistan, and its capital, Herat, is one of the most prosperous. The province is often held up as a model for a transition of power from the Western coalition to Afghan authorities. The International Security Assistance Force, or ISAF, here is under Italian command. So is the reconstruction team in Herat province. Its task is to support the local authority with security, governance and development. We're invited to see the result of civil efforts. First stop, the university. Its 8,000 students are from all over Herat province. Notable for Afghanistan, more than 3 out of 10 of the students are women. The campus has around 10 faculties, including a school for journalism. Youth Voice student radio here broadcasts all over the country. The students are convinced they can help build a better future.
Being a journalist in Afghanistan can be a great job, can help society, because this society has been at war for decades. We have a lot of problems. Journalism now has to speak up and describe today's realities. It has to say everything and bring good out of what Afghanistan has, which is freedom of expression.
Freedom is a relative concept in Afghanistan. This is a new support center for women, getting ready to open. The plan includes health and social services, courses in management, a gymnasium, and stores to be run by women. The aim is to help women become more independent, but the head of the project isn't under any illusions.
This can help integrate women into Afghan society, but it won't solve all their problems. They are slowly realizing that they do have rights. They want to study and be independent, which is a right according to Islamic Sharia law. They want to work and go to school, but the men aren't ready to recognize these social rights. Tensions in families have increased, and with that violence against women, which existed already in our society, because women are standing up for these rights and men don't accept them as independent beings.
It is realistic to expect that other priorities will take precedence before such an evolution of thinking. Security is still a challenge, the governor of the province tells us. He also hopes to see more investors in the region. He says the Afghan authorities aren't prepared yet to pick up from the coalition forces.
Potentially, yes. We have that potential. But we have the potential for transition, but there are lots of work to be done. And right now that I'm talking, we are not ready today. But in the future, if we do the right things, if we bring the right resources, and if we address the issues and the problems in the right coordinated way, I think we can.
The right things are manage development money better, coordinate NATO strategy better, and foster the credibility of the Afghan national authorities, all to bolster stability in the country. Also essential, we are told, is reconciliation between the government and those among the insurgents who are ready to consider laying down arms. The ISAF commander in the western region says the next few months will be decisive.
Credo che l'inverno possa
I think winter could be a good time to work on reconciliation and reintegration. Winter is hard, and we, the international community, we are in a position where we can help the people, can deliver help that could also convince those who still have doubts, the insurgents who are hesitating, to come over to the side of the local authorities.
It's 6 in the morning at the Herat Air Base. A helicopter is going to take us to Bala Morgab in the north of the country at the Turkmenistan border. It's a security bubble where inhabitants who fled violence have been starting to return to a normal life.
The fertile Morgab Valley stretches out in the province of Baghdis. There are mountains in one direction, desert in another. NATO troops have 17 advanced combat posts in the valley as a defense against insurgent attacks. This has allowed people driven off by the excesses of the Taliban or by bandits to return home.
We have the control of the area, and we give the possibility to see.
NATO troops are steadily trying to expand the security bubble perimeter, village by village, in other regions too.
The enemy is scattered. We know there are still several groups of insurgents, groups of 3 or 4 people, but thank God they can't regroup, can't get organized. We're sure Bala Morgab will be tranquil. It's calm because of the Afghan forces' constant surveillance working with us. That guarantees lives moving around and economic exchange here.
Patrols go out to the villages every day. Elders tell them what the communities need. That can be supplies for people whose belongings were pillaged, or help building a school or a mosque. The military is managing the step-by-step reconstruction alongside civilians. But the soldiers must stay alert.
You never be sure. The local population will not have any kind of problem. Could be someone that is coming inside the local population and try to attack you.
We non-combatant visitors aren't allowed to take off our helmets or protective vests for a minute as we cross this village.
No one likes having the Taliban or ISAF forces around, but we are vulnerable people. When the Taliban were here, we weren't safe. ISAF has brought some security. For the moment, it's impossible for them to leave. The Taliban could come back. Now that they're here, they have to establish security for good. There has to be stability for the Afghan state to retake control, and the government must invite our Taliban brothers and the others to national reconciliation. If the Afghan government doesn't make peace with them, they have to be forced. The same with the Taliban in Pakistan.
The challenge overlaps Afghanistan's borders. In the meantime, there's a sense of how urgent it is to ensure people a secure environment and livelihoods, and of the interaction needed so that security bubbles don't blow.